I want to stay on Ciryl Gane for a second if I could, and I think you hit on a lot of inconvenient truths when it comes to him. He's going to have a lot of questions he's going to need to answer. I know he addressed some of them at the post-fight press conference, and he's angry, he's disappointed. I didn't ingest all of that. But Kenny, the wrestling maintenance, the grappling maintenance, he's had a lot of time since the Francis Ngannou fight, and I have publicly questioned his attitude towards that stuff. And you're right. It is fair to bring questions to him about the training partners, about the work that he's doing. He seemed to be confident in the work that he is doing, but I just don't know what his appetite for that stuff really is. And, calling somebody a prize fighter is critical, right? But I don't know, man. This should have been a wrestling training camp. Like, I don't even know that he needed to do much of anything on the feet, right? And he looked grossly ill-prepared.
John, I would go even further and say that the wrestling happens, the grappling happens in the off season. He should have been working on this when he didn't have a fight. And he basically, he gave away the secret. He said, I've only been training when I have a fight. Oh, but for this camp, I really put it on. It's too late, dude. It takes years. It takes years to get your wrestling in order. It takes years to get your jiu-jitsu in order. Jon Jones was way ahead of you, and you took time off in between fights instead of working all the time. And I think what a lot of mixed martial arts fighters forget is that you're not preparing for some fighter when the UFC comes calling. You're preparing for the perfect fighter. And if you're preparing for the perfect fighter, you're training every single day. I mean, if you want to win, if you actually want to win, not like, let me go out and get a payday.
Right.
And I think that was, an unfortunate reality for Gane, is that he missed out on his opportunities 2-3 years ago to get his grappling in order.
Well, right.
You can't possibly catch up to a Jon Jones in a fight camp, is what I'm saying.
And you talk about regret, right? We're talking like midway through 2021. Or I guess you can say when he beats Derek Lewis and the Ngannou fight materializes, right? So he didn't do a lot of wrestling nor grappling leading up to the Ngannou fight, which was January of 2022. So if you wrestle and grapple leading up to that fight,
totally,
even though you don't expect to do it in that fight, then throughout 2022, right? I'm not saying he's at Boston University with Sean Gray, right? But you're wrestling. You're constantly wrestling, knowing that Stipe and Jon Jones are the fights that are lurking.